would like to call upon now Srimati Shanti Mandal, a young scientist from Bhaktivedanta Institute, as well as Srimati Monman Ghosh, research scholar, Vidyasagar University, to make their presentations on Sankhya and holistic Ayurveda. Thank you.
Without reading don't call it wait, ask people to wait. When you solve this, then you call it.
But can you summarize? No. Because we are all, everything is everything. We can't end up at 1 o'clock. We can't end up at 1 o'clock. We are at
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dr. Shanti Mandal, adjunct scientist, Bhakti Vedanta Institute. Would like to request you, please put your hands together and let's welcome Madam on the dais. Thank you.
A very good afternoon, everybody. I'm just going to talk about some Ayurvedic principles. It's a holistic, eternal science, but traditionally, healing system of India that dates back more than 5,000 years in history. But Charaka, according to Charaka, it is eternal. It's based on Sankhya philosophy, which says we divide the body, according to Sankhya, in 24 elements. The gross body, and then slide. Yes, second one. The gross body is divided into 24 elements, where the last two parts are the gross elements, and the middle is subtle body, and the top is our transcendental soul, transcendental part of our being, which you don't see. These macroscopic laws and principles that governs Ayurveda are doshas. Doshas is a special way to express or describe the gross principles, this Pancha Mahabhuta that our body consists of. It is earth, water, air, fire, ether. These 5 gross elements constitutes the 3 doshas, which predominantly consist of Vata, is air and ether. Pitta is fire and water. Kapha is earth and water. These doshas are used in the diagnosis of a disease. This is a special way that diagnoses disease and sees this pulse like that. They see, the Ayurvedic doctors, they see pulse. That means they diagnose that how much Vata, Pitta and Kapha, or the doshas, are vitiated. They diagnose the disease, they prescribe the medicine, they prescribe diets, they prescribe asanas and pranayam, and ultimately this holistic, through this vitiated doshas, they can diagnose that. And ultimately, it is the chanting of the holy name. So our being consisting of these 5 tires, this mind, false ego, intelligence, and the gross body, sense organs, and the earth, water, air, fire. The Ayurveda acts at the 5 levels. It's the chanting of the holy name, it acts on the soul, and then this mind intelligence, this pranayama acts, and then with medicine, with food, with good asanas and exercises, this acts on the gross body. So it is a holistic science, and there are also cleansing mechanisms. It's not only cures, but also cleanses. And that is, it prevents the disease as well as cures. Cleansing is, the soul is cleansed with the holy name, that is Chetadarpana Marjanam. And then gross body is cleansed is Panchakarma, Shat Karma. And then there is cleansing of Nadi Shodhan. It's called this pranayam called Nadi Shodhan, that cleanses the Vata Pitta Kapha balance, and other pranayams that cleanses the mind also, mind and intelligences. The modern way we deal with the body like we have an organism, then we have several organs, then we come down to the level of cells, then macromolecules, then micromolecules, and then to electrons, protons, like that. We describe that. But this system, we start healing from, it's a top-down process, start healing from. ये भी आज आ नहीं रहा है. This one is also not coming. So here we are. Whenever someone calls at work, says that, okay, I'm doing Ayurveda, they try to synthesize it in terms of modern science. And in the process of synthesizing it, they end up in biomolecules. So it is not fully Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a holistic approach where several molecules are used, several plants are used together to have a synergistic effect. So we try to translate Ayurveda in terms of modern science. What we do with Hirakvashma. Hirakvashma is diamond, processed diamond that is crushed into nanoparticles and given as a medicine to cancer patients. We got into its TEM structure and found that it consists of carbon onions. And carbon onions, they are supercapacitors. They have enormous capacity to take shuttle electrons. And then we have found that the side effects of Hirakvashma. We have tested Hirakvashma on blood, RBCs. With Triton X, we have found that if cell killing is 100%, with doxorubicin, it is more or less close to 80%, but with Hirakvashma, it is 2%, 2 to 5%. I'm going to show you the graph. That's nice. And with all cancers, we know that it is antioxidants, free radicals. With cancer patients, there are enormous free radicals in the body. They cannot scavenge free radicals properly. In the liver, the free radicals are not processed properly. So in cancer, generally Ayurvedic doctors, they prescribe OH, this alkaline food that deals with that are antioxidants that deals with the free radicals, OH minus groups. So we have prepared Hirakvashma in basic medium and have seen that the IC50, it reaches at a very lower level than the Hirakvashma prepared in acidic medium. We have tested this Hirakvashma in cancer cell line and have found that it kills cells through apoptosis because the cell cycle is arrested in G0 and G1 phase. So Hirakvashma has this capacity to change genes and induce cells to apoptosis. And one of the basic outcomes why we why we are interested in Ayurveda is that there is some synergistic effect of several, it's not that a single molecule drug. With synergistic effect, we mean that 2 and 2 doesn't make 4. Either they make more or they make less. Suppose 1 and 1 doesn't make 1. They make, or 2, they make 11, like that. This is a synergistic effect. Sometimes it is antagonistic, sometimes it is super. So it is, we have found with 4 herbs, we have worked with 4 herbs combination. We have found that cell killing is 80%, whereas single herb cell killing is 20%, and with cisplatin, it is 18%. The common chemotherapy agent, cisplatin drug, it is 80%. So any questions? I hope I have reached you anyway.
Ma'am, it was a very fruitful lecture. And actually, ma'am, I wanted to know that you mentioned Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? You mentioned Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? Ma'am, based on this, is there any chance of deciding whether the person is healthy or not? Based on these 3 characteristics, Vata as well as Pitta and Kapha, is there any possibility of deciding whether a human being is healthy or not?
There are papers where say that this chanting, meditation, they are changing genes.
Okay.
So this is the scientific view, okay? And with Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the Ayurvedic doctors, as they see this pulse,
okay.
They can say that if you are having fear or not. So while chanting, you diminish all those negativities of your life. So definitely they can find if you're peaceful or not.
Okay, ma'am. Ultimately, the chanting matters.
More you're peaceful, the less you're diseased.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the wonderful question.